So yeah, there's the shitty clock generator from before, except it's missing a brace down there for some reason. Oh yeah, I deleted some comments that were incorrect because they were left over from the LED blink program, which is all that is. It's just the LED blink program that replaces the fixed 1 second delay with a 0 to 1024 analog read off of the ADC. So as you can imagine, that doesn't produce the most stable clock signal in the world because those delays aren't very exact. So let's see if we can both stabilize that a little bit and speed it up a good bit, because this one is only running somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 kilo, or well, the 100 kilohertz. Well, somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 hertz. So that's not really fast enough to drive a serial port or something. So yeah, let's see what we can do. We may just have to implement a proper clock circuit, but I'd like to be able to programmatically stretch the clock cycles and do other fun shit like that for development purposes. So let's see what we can do. Yeah, sorry for the noise. Whenever I run the kerosene heater in here, that machine goes nuts for some reason. The electric doesn't do it, but only the kerosene. It must be all those lovely fumes that I'm breathing. So yeah, okay, so I'm trying to do this in an infinite loop here, so that it's not going through the interrupt-driven timer that presumably calls that loop function, right? And in doing so, I've managed to increase the speed of the clock to 357 kilohertz. But if you watch that, every once in a while it drops out and does something funny. We can probably see that a little easier if I turn the sweep rate down there some. See? Okay, did you see it drop out there for a second? It's very regular, and it corresponds to every time there's a flash on that activity LED, and it only does that 1 second flashing when I put the thing in an infinite loop like this. If I call all this shit out of loop here and let it do its thing and run its timers and all of that shit, it stops doing that flashy thing. See, you can see it down here. It halts the It just halts the clock while it's... there's something on here generating an interrupt, I'd say, that's causing it to jump away from this tight loop that it's generating this clock signal in. And I've tried several different ways of disabling Wi-Fi on the 8266, and nothing that I do seems to make it quit doing that. Alright, I got it to where it's only doing that shit every 6 seconds or so, and there's no way around that. It turned out there's a watchdog timer built into the thing, and you can disable the software watchdog timer, which by default runs every 1 second, which was what was causing this before. But even when you do that, it still fires a hardware watchdog every 6 seconds. So if you watch this thing long enough, it'll blip and the thing will drop out. There, you just saw it do it. So that sucks. I think maybe I can generate a more accurate high-speed square wave though with the PWM function. Now I don't think you can change the PWM frequency on the 8266. I'm gonna have to check on that and make sure, but I know you can on the ESP32, so we might just have to switch to that bad boy instead, even though these cost $5 instead of $3, and oh, we don't want to waste that $2, do we? Alright, here we go. So This ended up being a little more complicated than I thought, because apparently when you change the frequency of the PWM generator, it does some weird shit with the duty cycle. And there's some kind of internal overflow timer that you have to wait for, otherwise it gets all fucked up. Anyway, that timer was causing trouble at very low speeds, so what I ended up doing was I'm actually generating a clock that's 4 times faster than what I need, and then sending it through this 7474 flip-flop twice, which is wired as a toggle flip-flop. So that divides the frequency by 4, gives us better response on the adjustment pot. Otherwise, at the very lowest settings, there's like a 1-second delay when you turn the pot. So we can turn our pot here and adjust the clock frequency. Up to about, I don't remember what it was coming out to. That's 64 Hertz clock right there. But then if we take this switch, which doesn't have a switch on it yet, and ground it, something very special will happen. I have to make sure I don't accidentally plug that into the VN, which is 5 volts, so ground. Alright, now what happened? Well, the reason that connecting that wire makes all of the LEDs seem like they're on is because it jumps it up to a 1 megahertz system clock, which has a lot of noise on it, but with these great big long wires running around everywhere, that's not surprising. So that's actually generating a 4 megahertz clock and then dividing it by 4 to get 1 megahertz out of it. So I'm sure that with these great big wires, I'm probably giving the FCC a big headache right now, but you know what? I don't care, government. Eat it. Anyway, I think that'll work pretty good if it's not too noisy. So yeah, clock generator. It got more complicated than I expected. I'll put that shit on the website. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, maybe I ought to take one of these and put it in a box and put like actual knobs and switches on it and make like a $10 function generator of some kind, you know? And then that would be handy. I don't have a function generator otherwise. Yeah, that would be handy. Yeah. Alright, see you later.